wins in front of their home fans. 3 big homers in Game 2. An explosive series from the 21-year-old Jackson Chourio. What a start.
Chourio's done it in the regular season. He is now becoming a postseason player, and they're hoping that Priester, their starter for today's game, it was usually win day when he started this year for the Brewers. 12 consecutive winning decisions.
The kid from Chicagoland takes the mound for the Brewers here at Wrigley. The Brewers looking to reach the league championship series for the 4th time in their franchise history. The Cubs looking to come back from the brink. The 2025 MLB postseason is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. And by Vanda Pharmaceuticals. Innovate in the service of people's pursuit of happiness. They're all packed in here at Wrigley Field on a crisp fall night. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. The wind is blowing in from right and from center. Although it was blowing out a little bit to left during batting practice, it has shifted just a bit. We'll keep track of the wind as the night goes along. Lauren Jabara down to the field as Jameson Taillon leads the Cubs out for the Cubs out on the field, I should say. Lauren.
Thanks so much, Alex. Yeah, that win should play well to Jameson Taillon's game as well. He's been one of the hottest pitchers in baseball since mid-August. 3rd lowest ERA in all of Major League Baseball. Now, I talked to him. He told me that consistency has come from being intentional about everything. Warm-ups, drills, workouts, and from finding structure with the mental skills coach he started working with in 2023. He told me, look, I've always been a hard worker, but before that, it was kind of blind work. Now I've got a process, the same routine, whether things are going great or not. Every day, he journals keywords for his mechanics: connected, compact, gather, and he writes affirmations like, when I prepare my best, I am my best, and it keeps him grounded and consistent. Those are the words, guys, he wrote before the last elimination start against the Padres, and the same one he wrote today as well. That routine clearly paying off, and the Cubs hoping that rhythm carries them into today's game.
Hope that affirmation is win today. When you think of Jameson Taillon and what he can do, he was on the injured list twice, so he might be the strongest right now without the full body of work this summer. And if you look at his repertoire, he's got a lot of different pitches, 5 or 6 different ones that he'll use, but he has changed. He used to be cutter heavy last season. This year, more 4-seamer heavy.
Only the 3rd career playoff start for Jameson Taillon. Pat Murphy's Milwaukee Brewers have a bit of a different batting order here, with Christian Yelich moved back into the leadoff spot, a place he was towards the end of the regular season. Only the 4th time in his postseason career he's batted leadoff. And a change at first base. Jake Bauers is in. Andrew Vaughn is out. Brandon Lockridge will be in center field for Milwaukee. Taillon, the righty, ready to go. And it's a first pitch that just misses high to Yelich, and we're underway in Game 3. 29 homers, 103 runs batted in for Yelich during the regular season, leading the Brewers in both categories, and he has a base hit right off the hop up the right field line. Yelich digging for 2. It's a leadoff double.
Well, Yelich gets the Brewers going. The pitch first is a breaking ball right in the middle of the plate. Yelich reaches out and gets that right down the line, goes right over the bag. Easy call for the first base umpire, and the Brewers have started well again.
So here's Jackson Chourio. What a series it's been. An explosive series. 5 for 7. A double, a homer, 6 runs batted in. And a back-breaking 3-run homer in Game 2.
Oh, there's our base cam. You can see it shooting right over the bag, that double for Yelich. The call by Barksdale, the umpire at first base.
Lance Barksdale is the crew chief.
You know what's interesting here, if you look at the field, Nico Horner, Michael Busch, and Suzuki in right field, the sun is right in their eyes right here early in the game. It's almost like they're getting in their set position and trying to get a little lower than normal to get that sun out of their eyes.
Yeah, it'll be a problem for the first hour or so of this game. And we'll finish under the lights. 0-1 to Churiel. And he swings through that fastball.
That fastball he hit in game 2, 101 miles an hour. Straightaway center field for the 3-run homer. Pitch calm seems to be a problem the last couple of pitches.
Twice now, Ronnie. Carson Kelly out to have a quick word with Taillon. We've seen some controversy as well with the pitch tipping and teams trying to relay signs, so they want to make sure everything is right with the pitch calm.
Listen, both pitch tipping, which means that you're doing something on the mound that the other team can pick up before you deliver the ball. You can see the miscommunication, Kelly and Taillon, as they call off the jam. But the pitch relaying is when you have a runner on second. He can see into the glove, or the catcher setting up early and he alerts his teammate at the plate, either with a hand gesture, sometimes crouching down in their kind of ready position on the bases.
All right, we're all set. Taillon's 0-2. Churiel sticks the bat head out there. A flare right side. Not a lot of foul ground here at Wrigley, and it reaches the seats.
If you're Taillon, you also have to be alert to Yelich at second base. In his heyday, he would steal third, 10 times a year. Maybe not as much now, but postseason he might turn it on.
He had 16 steals during the regular season, and again Churiel stays alive. Both of these teams were two of the best during the regular season in terms of base stealing, although that's kind of ground to a halt here in the postseason. Milwaukee led the National League during the regular season. Churiel grounds one to third. Yelich has to stay put at second as Shaw makes the putout. 5 pitches to Churiel, 5 swings, and a first out.
Churiel not able to get that ball to the right side to advance Yelich and have a productive at bat. Good pitching by Taillon.
So here's Bryce Terang, 0 for 4 in game 2. Taillon checking on Yelich, coming home with a breaking ball and misfiring.
Will Little, the home plate umpire, tends to be more hitter friendly than pitcher friendly. That should work against both of these pitchers who don't have plus stuff.
Two 2-0 to Terang. Bryce Terang took a major leap forward. Pat Murphy calling it a quantum leap in terms of what he was capable of. One of the top power bats over the second half of the season. Showing bunt. These Brewers do have that in their back pocket.
Almost all of the hitters in the lineup for the Brewers will show bunt every once in a while to try to pull the defense in.
2-1 way outside. Taillon over his final 6 starts of the regular season, 4-1, a 1.57 ERA, 4 scoreless innings in the clincher against San Diego in the wild card round. They need that kind of effort here today as Terang lays off, and it's a 5-pitch walk. And that'll bring up William Contreras.
Well, this is the chaos of this offense for the Brewers. They'll walk, they have the humble approach, take the base hit, had 9 singles in game number 1, but they can also go deep. They beat you in a lot of different ways.
Brewers are 9 for 15 with runners in scoring position this series. Contreras looking to do some damage here with 2 on and 1 out. And he swings through this pitch up in the zone. A cut fastball that floated to the top of the zone. Hope you've been in your seats early for this series. 0-2.
That was the best breaking pitch Taion has thrown so far here in this first inning.
Contreras, who had the go-ahead solo homer in the third inning of Game 2 off Shota Imanaga.
The Brewers offense doesn't chase a lot. They don't swing a lot, although they've been more aggressive in this series early in the count than they have all season long.
And Contreras pops it up. Where is it? Nobody sees it. It might fall. It does! Taking off from first is Terang. Nobody's at second base. Everybody's safe. Late afternoon sun at Wrigley Field, and now Craig Counsell wants to know why the infield fly rule wasn't in effect.
The umpire is going to say no one had a beat on the ball at all. You don't call the infield fly rule until you're sure that it's playable, that it's going to be played. But Michael Busch never saw it off the bat. He put his arms in the air. And then no play at second because they couldn't get the outfielder, Pete Crow-Armstrong, into second base. See his arms up? I cannot see it. We knew that this sun would play havoc early, and it's cost the Cubs and put them in trouble.
Big time trouble. Bases loaded. One out. Sal Frelick takes ball one.
I mean, off the bat, this should be a simple pop-up, and most people assume it that way. Crow-Armstrong tried to get in there late, but it was too late.
Corners in. Strike one to Frelick. The road team has scored first in the first two games. Problem is, after the Cubs did that in Milwaukee, the Brewers came right back as Frelick flies one to left. That might get a run home. Ian Happ drifting over, makes the catch. Yelich tags from third. Throw home, not in time. 1-0 Milwaukee on a sac fly from Frelick.
Well, there's the productive at bat by the misplay by the Cubs, by Frelick. Batting that fifth hole, gets the ball just deep enough to the Gold Glover Happ that he doesn't have a play on Yelich at the plate.
So with two outs, infield backs up, but the Brewers have already scratched a run across. And now Caleb Durbin bats. And Durbin with a fly ball to center, but Pete Crow-Armstrong is there. And what could have been much worse for the Cubs given the circumstances. One across for Milwaukee as the Cubs come to bats. We'll take a look at the Cubs lineup with Michael Busch back in the starting lineup for Chicago. Remember, came off the bench in Game 2. Everybody else the same as they've been throughout this series as the Cubs take on the 25-year-old Quinn Priester from just across the way, about 20 miles from here at Wrigley Field, making his postseason debut for the Milwaukee Brewers.
This is the fourth time he's faced the Cubs this year. First time, 4 1/3, gave up 7 runs, but his last 10 innings, only 3 runs allowed. See a lot of cutters, sinkers, breaking ball.
Skips this one in there. Michael Busch 0 for 2 in Game 2 off the bench. Has 2 homers this postseason. A career high 34 during the regular season.
I was thinking that's what a curveball looks like in a park that you grew up next to, coming to games. That first one didn't go 55 feet.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Busch. Quinn Priester from the Chicagoland area, playing against the team he grew up rooting for. Heart probably beating 1,000,000 miles an hour as Busch holds his swing and the count runs full.
Both these pitchers will pitch more to contact than we've seen in this series. Lots of strikeouts in this series.
Bush with a drive, right field. Frelick goes back to the track, to the wall, gone! Tie game! Michael Bush, a leadoff bomb once again. In a postseason where Chicago has not seen reliable offense, Michael Bush delivers.
In Game 2, Suzuki had a 3-run home run that was answered by Andrew Vaughn. The Brewers score a run on a missed pop-up, and Bush turns it right around with one swing.
There have been fireworks early in every game of this series.
Just a little cutter, so it's right in the middle of the plate. Had to throw a strike, 3-2. And Bush took care of it. What an ending to the season Bush has had. He has been red hot of late. His third home run in this 2025 postseason, his second leadoff home run in this series.
Talked about the wind and whether that would be a factor. The wind was blowing in from right. We've got it at 16 miles an hour. As Horner flies one that way, this will drift foul.
The only reason that home run dropped in the front row is because of the wind. Frelick thought at some point the wind might blow it back into play, but it settled into that first row. That would have been 20 rows up on a regular day.
It hasn't exactly been a hitter's park all season long, and it certainly doesn't feel like one here tonight. Temperatures are going to drop into the 50s as we go along.
Nothing like turning the wind around.
Third homer this postseason for Michael Bush. All of the leadoff variety. Horner with a line drive up the middle for a base hit.
Here's the chaos that Counsell was talking about. Again, another cutter that just spins in the middle of the plate. Nice hitting by Horner. Bullet up the middle.
Now can the Cubs get a runner in scoring position? That's been a big challenge this series. Just 4 at-bats with a runner in scoring position. Horner can run as Tucker tries to lay down a bunt and it's foul. Lauren, you have more?
Yeah, you talk about getting runners in scoring position. That's something they've been focusing on, especially with the wind blowing in here. Craig Counsell and Cubs third base coach Quentin Berry made it a focus of theirs to be a lead at base running. He said, we've shown a ton of video. Counsell made it a point of emphasis at spring training. We actually talked about it again today. Runs are at a premium, so that's how we need to create them. Look for this group, guys, to be really aggressive along the bases here.
And we'll see how many times they try to lay down a bunt. Only did it 10 times during the regular season.
Well, also watch Quentin Berry, third base coach for the Cubs, and Jason Lane, third base coach for the Brewers. They might be overly aggressive in today's game.
.96 out of the zone.
It's been a long, strange summer for Kyle Tucker, one of the game's best right fielders. The injuries, there's been the thought we have to sign him for anything. I don't think we should sign him. It's gone every which way but loose.
It's one of the question marks for the Cubs going forward in the here and now, looking for his first hit of the series.
Sometimes nerves will show up for a pitcher just in their lack of control. He's a control pitcher, a guy who throws strikes. He's had a lot of non-competitive pitches so far in this first inning.
Didn't locate that one. And Tucker held his swing. And after a breakthrough season for Quinn Priester, 13-3 in the regular season, a massive moment here in the playoffs. A 3-1 count, a runner on and nobody out. That's ball 4 inside.
Well, they really have had the patient approach here. Now Chris Hook, the pitching coach for the Brewers, with an early visit, and I think a warranted visit. You got to go out there. He knows that his nerves are affecting how he's throwing so far. Your heart's racing. You're telling everyone that everything's cool, I'm fine, but inside you're churning. And that's what Hook is out there to do. Just relax his young pitcher. Let's go back to what we're doing best. Let's throw strikes. Let's get the ball on the ground. Your defense will turn too.
Now can the Cubs take advantage of this situation? Just 2 for 17 this postseason with runners in scoring position.
But they have their hottest hitter up. To include the last part of the regular season, his last 9 games, 7 home runs and 14 RBIs for Suzuki.
Started off game 2 with a bang with a 3-run homer. Low and away from Priester, ball 1.
The wind is blowing from right to left at times, so shouldn't hurt the pull side for the right-handed hitters.
Two homers this postseason for Suzuki. Had 32 during the regular season, a career high. And he fouls this off.
It's not always easy to pitch in your hometown. I had to pitch in Boston, Fenway Park. I'm from Massachusetts. Game 4 of the World Series. Never been more nervous before a start.
Suzuki pops it up, but this will drift foul.
The folks in the lower bowl have not sat down.
Why would you?
In a series yes.
In a series where the first inning has provided most of the offense. 2 on, nobody out. 2-2. Suzuki fouls it off.
That hard sinker running down and in. Again, Priester's trying to get them to hit the ball, put it in play on the ground. And this one hits the shin guard, protective shin guard that he has on his left leg.
Suzuki to right field, curling towards the corner. Frelick slides and comes up with the catch. Sal Frelick with a tremendous catch in right. That saves a run, takes an extra base hit away from Suzuki, and results in a huge first out.
Well, this Milwaukee defense has been bailing out its pitchers all season long. What a play. One of the only ballparks where down the right and left field line it bays out and it plays deeper. And he made it all the way to the line, sliding catch. That's the only way you can make that play. You can't run full bore because you'll run straight into the wall.
Nico Horner able to tag and get to third. He's 90 feet away. Tucker stays at first. Here's Ian Happ. And a fastball misses up and away.
Sunlight now is right in the pitcher Priester's face when he comes set. Well, when you're a good outfielder, and there's plenty of good outfielders on both teams, you got to get a tremendous jump. And that ball was being pushed towards the right field wall and down by this tremendous wind here, and Felix stayed with it. What a play.
In the dirt, Contreras with the stop.
I mean, a lesser outfielder, right fielder, that's a triple, drives in a couple of runs.
Sal Frelick, one tough customer as well. Quinn Priester battling in a homecoming. Pours in a strike. Ian Happ, the longest tenured Cub. Just 2 hits this postseason. Both have gone for extra bases. And Happ lays off.
Another cutter up and in. Happ is so strong.
Priester's payoff is ball 4. And the bases are loaded. 2 walks in the inning. And there's nowhere to put Carson Kelly.
Looked like a cutter, backdoor slider that misses.
During the regular season, Quinn Priester had a breakthrough season. A franchise record 12 consecutive winning decisions. A span where Milwaukee won 16 straight games he started. None of them in a situation like this. Strike 1 to Kelly.
Well, the 2 walks in this inning, he's just got to remind himself that he's got such a tremendous defense behind him. Got to let him put the ball in play.
He's ahead 0-2. Already 30 pitches for Priester this inning, and Milwaukee getting a reliever hot. Nick Mears. Shadows covering the entire infield now. Bases loaded, 1 out. 0-2. And this is foul.
Boy, nice approach here by Kelly. Trying to go the other way. Starts that one out fair, but then peels and goes foul. That ball looked like it was accented by the wind going foul.
Another 0-2. Both teams have scored in each half of their first inning in all 3 games of this series. Cubs with a leadoff homer from Michael Busch. Bases now loaded as they look for more, and Priester misses low and away with the slider. Cubs trying to stave off elimination. Kelly strikes out. Priester going back to the slider and gets the K.
Well, but that's the best slider he has thrown so far in this first inning. Bottom drops out of it, and the speed, change in the speed, fooled Kelly there.
Quinn Priester now with 35 pitches in this first inning. A season high for a first inning, as Pete Crow Armstrong is unable to hold his swing.
Despite the number of pitches, this is a successful inning if somehow he gets through Pete Crow Armstrong. Pete, over the second half of the season, even the first half of the season, loves to swing the bat, and there was some chase in the first half, but even more of it in the second half. And pitchers have stopped throwing him strikes.
Still looking for his first extra base hit this postseason. A clutch game in Game 3 of the wild card, went 3 for 4, an RBI single that opened the scoring in that elimination game. Bases loaded, 2 out, 0-1 in the dirt. A slider that Priester has leaned on in this first inning.
At the end of the season, Pete Crow Armstrong was trying to be a little quicker to the ball, try to take some of the length out of his swing, be more contact oriented.
There have been only 2 hits for the Cubs with runners in scoring position this postseason. Pete Crow Armstrong has one of them. Oh for 4 in Game 2. Pete Crow Armstrong delivers with a base hit to right. That'll score 2, and the Cubs have the lead in Game 3.
Contact-oriented indeed by Pete Crow Armstrong. Another cutter that sits right in the middle of the plate. A bullet to right field off the bat of Crow Armstrong. And a huge hit here in the first inning. It's also going to cost Priester his place in the game.
Wrigley Field is alive, and so are the Cubs. A 3-1 lead, and Priester unable to get through the first. Watch MLB legends and stars tee off in the inaugural Capital One MLB Open at Shadow Creek, November 18th, 9:30 p.m. Eastern on TNT. Go to MLB.com/golf for more details.
Well, we're talking about how you can be a transformational coach. Here he pulls Priester back after taking the ball, probably said the words like this: "We're going to need you later in this postseason. All right, don't hang your head."
All of a sudden, it's turned into a bullpen game for Milwaukee. Remember, Milwaukee used 7 pitchers in Game 2 of this series, and Nick Mears will come on to pitch for the Brewers. Got 1 out in Game 2 coming in after Aaron Ashby, and he may be called on for more here.
Yeah, he's pitched now in all 3 games of this series. Mears with good fastball, good hard slider. Watch Pete Crow Armstrong here at first pitch.
Stays put at first, at 35 stolen bases during the regular season. Dansby Swanson at the plate, a 3-time All-Star. And there goes Pete Crow Armstrong, and the ball gets away all the way to the backstop. That'll score a run. Ian Happ scampers home on the wild pitch.
Traffic for the Cubs, making things happen, attempting a steal. You saw Contreras coming out of his crouch early to try to throw that ball and wasn't able to handle it on his backhand. A late start by Happ, but plenty of time to get in there with the 4th run.
Exactly what Craig Counsell was looking for. Chaos for the Cubs offensively. And causing havoc on the Brewers' game plan. Strike 1 to Swanson.
The 2-out hit with runners in scoring position is always the backbreaker.
Remember, in game 1 of this series, the Brewers were able to bat around, put up a 6 spot. Swanson with a drive, left field, and foul. Just in front of it.
We were talking about in the open that one little event can change a series. This ball hit right on the nose, but foul. Pete Crow Armstrong's hit, we might look back on that as the key to this series.
110 off the bat, but a loud foul ball from Swanson. Pete Crow Armstrong with a 2-run single. A bases loaded hit. We talked about how the Brewers and how good they've been with 2 outs in this series. How clutch was that from Pete Crow Armstrong to keep this inning going, and played a couple. Full count here to Swanson with PCA at second. Mears comes home, and Swanson pops it up. Foul ground and into the seats.
They've been getting a lot of hitters counts in this inning, and they've taken advantage of it. That could have been an inning packed full of action that ended up 1-1, but instead, with that big hit, made it 3-1. The wild pitch got them their 4th run. Huge, huge hit.
And they have still not taken their seats.
A little bit of everything here. Power, battled at bats, walks, good base running, clutch hits.
Just what the Cubs needed, and just in the nick of time early in this one. Swanson with a great battle.
I mean, just think of the number of pitches the Brewers are going to need just to get through this first inning.
Another payoff, and Swanson lays off for ball 4. Third walk of the inning for Brewers pitchers. Now the rookie Matt Shaw. 0 for 3 in the series, but has 4 walks of his own from the 9-hole. All one upstairs from Mears.
Shaw looking for his first postseason hit.
Now, I was watching both Pete Crow Armstrong and over at third base. You were talking about him earlier, the Cubs third base coach, and Quentin Berry. He is locked in directing traffic with Crow Armstrong still in scoring position. Lauren?
Yeah, I talked to Quentin Berry. He said, look, with a guy like PCA, you can't put a leash on him. He does things you don't see. He understands the game, knows when to be aggressive, and has made plays this year he didn't even know were possible. He said he makes my job easy as a third base coach.
He has been a big part of the Cubs' success on the base paths this year, Quentin Berry. Two balls and a strike to Shaw. Nick Mears and the Brewers looking for an out to end this marathon first inning. Nearly a half hour. And 4 runs plated by the Cubs. Jose Quintana warming. We were wondering if he was going to be the Game 2 or Game 3 starter for Milwaukee. Matt Shaw strikes out and leaves two stranded, but the Cubs get exactly what they needed. 4 first-inning runs. Bush, a leadoff homer. Crow Armstrong, a clutch hit. DraftKings Sportsbook is your home for live betting, and new customers can bet $5 and pocket $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the app and use the promo code HEAT when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. After a long wait, Jameson Taillon returns to work, facing 7, 8, and 9 here for Milwaukee. The Cubs leading 4-1 in this must-win Game 3. Ball out.
You know, you always think about what happens to the starting pitcher when he's been on the bench for a half hour. When you have a veteran pitcher, over the course of your career, all of this stuff has happened at least once, so you know how to deal with it.
That's what gave Craig Counsell a lot of confidence with Taillon as his Game 3 starter in the wild card and as a Game 3 starter here. Been there, done that.
This might be the biggest zero he has to put up in his career, though.
He faces Jake Bauers to lead things off for the Brewers in the second. Only his second career playoff start. All out. Taillon unable to locate the changeup. Bauers walked in his only plate appearance as a pinch hitter in Game 1. And he chops one up the middle. Swanson was shifted that way. One gone.
Well, Taillon, since August 19th, that was a doubleheader. He pitched a second game, and he threw 6 innings, only gave up a run. That's what his ERA is since then. Remember those games. The Cubs swept that doubleheader. They won the next day. 3 in a row they took from the Brewers. That's what they need to do in this series.
Yeah, they took 3 out of 5. It wasn't enough for them to hang around in the division. But the season series was so close. Cubs won it 7-6. Start here for Brandon Lockridge as he checks his swing. First start in any game for the Brewers since August 27th. And his first career playoff start.
Well, they acquired him at the trading deadline for Nestor Cortez Jr. Pat Murphy really likes Lockridge, likes his speed. Once stole 40 bases in the minor leagues.
Brewers have prioritized defense from their center field position in this series. Blake Perkins got the start in games 1 and 2. Jackson Chourio has been in left. Oh. 1-2 misses upstairs.
Lockridge played a lot of center field when Jackson Merrill was out with an injury for the San Diego Padres, but then when Merrill came back, he was expendable.
What will that kid do next? It's been an incredible postseason for the second straight year for Chourio, as Lockridge is battling here. Jackson Chourio, who has 5 hits this series, 6 runs batted in. And Lockridge fouls another one back. Only his 6th start in center field since being acquired by the Brewers at the trade deadline. 9th pitch of the at-bat. And another one foul.
It's unusual in the playoffs or postseason to see that many changes in a lineup for a team that's 2-0. Usually they like to cart out the same guys just for karma.
I'll tell you what, the Cubs, it's been interesting that they've had so few changes in their lineup.
Who are you going to take out? You know, their
Right.
players, their everyday players are their everyday players. Suzuki has to play right now because of Tucker's injury.
4 straight foul balls for Lockridge. Make it 5. Driving up Taillon's pitch count.
Craig Counsell told us that if he could get 5 innings out of Taillon, he'd be very happy.
Wow, 1 and a bat. 12 pitches.
Remember, Blake Perkins started the first 2 games of center field. He had an 11 pitch at bat and produced a single. His replacement trying to do the same.
Lockridge strikes out of the end. Took 13 pitches to get him.
Well, Quinn Priester struggled in that first inning because when he got behind, he walked 3 batters. Well, walked 2 batters. Mears walked the other. But Taillon was able to come back on the hitters, didn't walk anyone, retired 1 on a ground ball, and 1 on that strikeout.
First pitch swinging for Joey Ortiz, lifted foul. Cubs leading the Brewers 4-1 in this game 3. One that the Cubs must win to stay alive in this division series. It continues a theme all series long. Combined in the first inning, Milwaukee with 10 runs in this series, Chicago with 8. But Taillon looking for a 0. And he's got one. A 1-2-3 second. And we head to the bottom of the second here at Wrigley Field. StatCast 3D is powered by Google Cloud. Wind blowing in, no problem for the Cubs' top slugger, Michael Busch, with a leadoff homer. Multiple leadoff homers in the same series. That's the first player in postseason history, but it barely got out.
I told you it was going to be 20 rows deep on a regular day. You know how I know that? Because of all the home runs I've given up here. I know exactly where they go.
Jose Quintana now in the game for Milwaukee. As the lefty pours in a strike.
Quintana, wily veteran. He's a guy that'll throw a lot of sinkers, cutters, breaking ball, and change.
He hasn't pitched since September 14th. He strained his left calf covering first base on a ground out. It ended his regular season. We wondered whether he would be good enough to go for game 2, but the Brewers went with a bullpen game instead. Now they're going to need bulk relief from Quintana.
Quintana, who has pitched here on the north side for the Cubbies, and the south side as well. 113 wins, 357 starts.
14th big league season for Quintana as he misses with the fastball. Two balls and 2 strikes to Busch. He now has 3 homers this postseason. 2 this series. And that is called strike 3. Busch thought it was below the knees.
Well, he's got issue with Will Little, not as much with where the pitch was, but by the late call by Will Little. It's like Little took a heartbeat extra before he made this call. Looks like it might have caught the bottom of the strike zone.
Strike 1 to Nico Horner.
Nothing irritates hitters more than a split indecision by the umpire.
How many times that get on your nerves as a pitcher?
Yeah, it does. You know, you just want him to control the game. Happens.
Horner 1 for 1.
You know, we were talking about this is the first postseason series between these two clubs. They did play a game 163. The starting pitcher for the Cubs that day was Jose Quintana.
The Cubs lost that day. Brewers went on to win the division title as a result, as Horner grounds out to short for the second out of inning number 2.
Does a little hop bring a little luck? Catch the game like never before with AI from Google Cloud.
Alex Faust, Ron Darling, Lauren Jabara here with you. Wrigley Field in Chicago. Late afternoon, sun is setting. We'll finish under the lights in this Game 3 of the National League Division Series. Cubs with their backs against the wall. The Brewers looking to clinch their first playoff series victory in 7 years. Kyle Tucker here, who walked his first time. Still looking for his first hit of this series.
Well, with this move by manager Pat Murphy, he's tipped his hand now. With Jose Quintana in the game, fastball Freddie Peralta will pitch the game tomorrow. On 4 days rest, proper rest. If there is a game, Milwaukee's going to have a lot to say about that. A lot of game left.
That's the thing. It's been so fascinating this series. We think about playoff baseball and late inning drama. All the drama in this series has happened early.
That's right.
Ooh, up the middle from Tucker. Ortiz with a beautiful stop behind second base. And he makes an accurate throw for a 1-2-3 inning. And after a chaotic first for both teams, both get 1-2-3 innings from their pitchers. You can wear what the players are wearing on field during the postseason. Check out the largest selection of authentic caps, jerseys, hoodies, t-shirts, and a whole lot more. Visit MLBshop.com for your favorite postseason team gear. Top of the order for Milwaukee. Top 3 at Wrigley. And it's ball 1 from Jameson Taillon to Christian Yelich, who doubled and scored to begin the game for the Brewers. Two straight out of the strike zone, make it 3 in a row from Taillon.
Yelich hasn't changed too much since when he came up as a young player with the Marlins. Always has had a great eye.
Had good career numbers against Taillon. Chopper to first. Bush is there. He'll flip to get the out. Moments ago, Lauren Jabara with Craig Counsell.
Craig, you told us you wanted chaos and to get off to an early lead. How would you assess the first 2 innings?
Well, we had a great offensive first inning. I mean, we put pressure on immediately. Obviously, Michael's homer off the bat, and then Nico getting on base. Just never let their starter settle in.
Jameson Taillon, a pro's pro, a veteran. What do you need to see from him now through the next couple of innings?
Well, I think the key was, after the pop-up that we didn't execute, that he came back and made pitches, and that was just keeping that to 1 run that inning was absolutely huge.
Craig, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Exactly what they needed. Now, it's funny, Ronnie, every manager with their game plan, when it falls into place, they look like a genius.
Yeah.
When it doesn't, they're the GOAT.
Well, with more and more of decisions helped for the manager by the front office and information and analytics, it's still the manager who wears the crown. He's going to take the heat.
Churio bounces one to the left side. 2 gone. Cubs are also trying to overcome a bit of history. They have a 4-game home losing streak in the postseason. 3 of those 4 losses were in elimination games. And this in the division series, I should say.
Players will tell you, I wasn't here for that.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
blame that on me.
Exactly. Up the middle from Terang. Horner makes the play. Another 1-2-3 inning for Taillon. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. 4-1 Chicago. You can make your voice heard. Vote now to select the 2025 All-MLB team. It's your chance to be part of history and honor this season's top performers. Terms and conditions apply. See MLB.com/All-MLB for details. Fun atmosphere as it always is on the north side. And the home fans treated to an explosive show to begin the night. 4-1 Cubs over the Brewers in this elimination game for Chicago. Jose Quintana on to pitch after Quinn Priester lasted just 2/3 of an inning.
I was telling Boog Shambi before the game, who does a great job with Jim DeShays on the television here, marquee television for the Cubs. You feel like you do these games for free when you do them at Wrigley Field. That's how special it is.
Seiya Suzuki here. Now for Quintana. You know, everybody has to be ready this time of year, but you're thrust into this where you have to eat some innings.
The group thought by baseball now is that you don't chase the win. If you're behind, then you're going to use one of your pitchers to be the bulk inning guy, and that's what Quintana is going to be here.
Suzuki drives one towards the gap. It's down for a base hit and off the ivy. A leadoff double for Suzuki in the home half of the 3rd.
I don't think we've seen anybody in the last 9 or 10 games for Suzuki hit the ball any harder. Ball is just like rocketing off his bat. Bounces hard off the ivy. Another extra base hit for Suzuki.
And it seemed to come out of nowhere, Ronnie, where he was struggling over the second half of the year and now has extra base hits in 9 of his last 10 games.
He was on a pace the first 2 months of the year to drive in 150. That's how hot he was.
Would have had 2 tonight had he not been robbed by Sal Frelick in the first inning. That sliding catch in the right field corner. Ian Happ here with a leadoff man aboard and in scoring position.
This series has been so unusual as far as the schedule. Remember, tomorrow will be the first time in this series where we play on back-to-back days.
Time is called, and that certainly will impact how both managers approach this game. Obviously for Chicago there is no tomorrow, but for Milwaukee just adds a little bit of a wrinkle.
Contreras has a little move where he fakes like the ball went behind him. I think he's trying to get the runners to bite. Not so far.
Broken bat foul. Ian Happ scored on a wild pitch in the first.
Watch Contreras here, Alex. The ball will be outside. He'll kind of fake like the ball went behind him to see if he gets the runner to think that it's a dirt ball read. Not this time. Even Suzuki's laughing.
There are a couple of baseball tricks that we've seen the Brewers deploy.
Yeah.
And even going back to Priester, who got the start today, he was warming up, tossing in the outfield prior to game 2 as a decoy.
That's right. Today warming up with a football before the game.
And then quickly exited after just 2/3 of an inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Happ. Quintana spikes one in the dirt.
So if you're the Brewers, you're just trying to keep it where it is until your offense catches fire. For the Cubs, need to add on. Build that lead.
Already they've snapped a streak. 13 straight games where they were limited to just 3 runs or fewer in the postseason. Happ stays alive. Those 13 consecutive games with 3 or fewer runs, the longest such streak in baseball history in the postseason.
It's over.
Carson Kelly waiting on deck. And that's ball 4 to Ian Happ. Moments ago, Lauren with Brewers manager Pat Murphy.
Pat, I know you had to take Quinn Priester out early. You had a couple words with him. What did you say?
I told him we're going to need you, brother. We're going to need you. So I know you're disappointed, but we need you. So hopefully he'll bounce back.
I know Jose Quintana's out there right now. How do you navigate the next few innings and the rest of this game with the arms?
Yeah, we're still in the ball game. There's 7 innings left or 6.5 innings left. We can score runs. There's no doubt. Credit the Cubs. They've done a great job. The atmosphere is fantastic. They've capitalized. They got the momentum. We've got to switch that somehow.
Pat, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, for Pat Murphy, more drama, and the Brewers are going to have to navigate more traffic. 2 on, nobody out. Kelly at the plate, and he looks in ball 1.
Pat Murphy, manager of the year last year in the National League. I'll nominate him for best manager interview on our broadcast. By far.
Two and 1 to Kelly. Popped up on the infield, back of the infield, wind swirling. Frelick runs in and makes the catch.
You cannot get enough players around the ball. When the ball goes up in the air, you've got to assume that you might make the catch just because of the wind. And Sal Frelick, who made an outstanding play earlier in the game on a Suzuki line drive, stays with it just long enough to make that play in right field.
That wind shows is coming in from center, but we know because of the roof of this building that it can have a swirling effect on the infield. Here's Pete Crow Armstrong who had that clutch hit. A 2-run single in the first. You go back to game 2, late frustration. Not so in the first inning today.
Just love the way he plays.
He wears his emotions on his sleeve for sure. He had a great line to the media after the Cubs loss in game 2. When asked about, do you think the Cubs have a chance to come back? He said, I think I'd be a fool to be here and not think that we could come back. He goes around and is upset with the call at third.
Counsel's got to come get him, though. He can't get him thrown out.
Still jawing with Ryan Blakeney, the third base umpire.
What do you think at home, folks? He did not go. Not even close.
Not reviewable. Swanson now takes a high strike.
See the Justin Turner loitering there, staying next to Pete Crow Armstrong, trying to keep some kind of lid on it. Need him in the field. You know, it hurts more because here's a young player who chases a lot of pitches out of the strike zones, working really hard not to do that, and checks his swing, and it gets called anyway. That's why there's so much emotion.
Two and one to Swanson.
Can hear Quintana up here in our perch grunting as he throws the ball to the plate.
After a first pitch strike, he's behind Swanson. Now 3-1.
Oh, look at him turning it into a positive.
Yeah.
I like that. Maturity.
Quintana's 3-1. Swanson on the ground to short, gobbled up by Ortiz, and he'll get the out at first to end the inning. The Cubs strand two. They still lead 4-1. The 2025 National League Division Series is presented by Booking.com. Let's take a look at TBS Total Motion presented by Progressive. Swings of emotion early yet again in this series. Another first inning with fireworks galore, and the Cubs with a 4-1 lead over the Brewers. And this elimination game here at Wrigley Field. The Brewers retired in order in back-to-back innings. Jameson Taillon has retired 8 in a row ever since the Brewers got on the board first. A sac fly from Sal Frelick, plating Christian Yelich. Milwaukee Brewers looking for only their 4th appearance in a league championship series in franchise history. They have just one pennant in their franchise history. It came in the American League. This is a no swing ruled by Lance Barksdale at first. They have never won a National League pennant, Milwaukee. Came over in 1998, and surprisingly, this is the first time that the Brewers and the Cubs have met in a postseason series. And Contreras has worked the count full. Payoff. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Contreras is fanned. Of course, the big hit in the game so far from Pete Crow Armstrong. Lauren, you have more?
I do. We talk about how he plays with so much emotion. Well, one guy, Justin Turner, has been really taking him under his wing. You saw after he came back down, he's kind of heated. JT starts talking to him, and they've been doing that all season long. I asked Turner what he says to him, and he said when the pressure ramps up, the instinct is to turn inward, but the right way is to stay open, lean on each other, and enjoy these moments together. And it was fun, too, just watching him stand on the top of the stairs here, waiting for PCA to come back up from the back. They had a couple words together, and as PCA was taking the field before this inning, JT he was watching him too, just to make sure, seeing how his body language is. And I know he's a really big teacher for a guy like PCA, and PCA has taken to that all season long.
He's almost an extra coach for Craig Counsell on that staff, but I think his remarks there were quite pointed. He was just trying to tell him, we need you in this game. Do not get thrown out of this game.
Frelick goes the other way and lines one into left. Second hit of the series for Frelick.
You know, we talked to Pat Murphy earlier. The threat of the bunt by everyone in that lineup brings the third baseman, Matt Shaw, in. Because he's in, he's able to punch that ball by him. You'll see the Brewers do that constantly throughout the season.
Frelick, who his former manager Craig Counsell once nicknamed the hit collector for hits like that. Caleb Durbin now. Durbin, a local kid from Lake Forest, Illinois. I was talking to him prior to game 2, and he was looking forward to everything about this experience. Not only a postseason game here at Wrigley Field, but the chill in the air, getting to wear that long sleeve underneath his jersey on a night like tonight. And Durbin lines one to right. Back-to-back opposite field hits for the Brewers, and they have something cooking here in the fourth.
Well, this team can really string hits together. We talked before, they don't chase a lot, they don't swing a lot, but when they swing, they make contact. Humble approach, going the other way against Tyone, and 2 runners aboard.
I'll bring up Jake Bauers. Only his second career playoff start as Tyone comes home and misses with an off-speed pitch. Three out of the 4 hits for Milwaukee have come when Tyone misses on the first pitch. Three singles and a double for the Brewers. They blew a hole through the narrative that they don't hit any home runs with their 3 in game 2. Fouled straight back.
That was a sinker. The Tyone got up in the strike zone. Bauer just missed it, fouled it back.
Bauer's getting a turn in the lineup for Milwaukee. Red hot to finish the regular season. Hit .378 over his final 19 games. Was often getting reps, spelling Andrew Vaughn. He does so today, and it takes strike 2.
But when you don't have the 97+ velocity as a pitcher, you got to be creative. And Tyone, a few times now behind in the count, has been able to spin a breaking ball for a strike.
Bauers does enough.
That was the changeup again. He missed earlier in the count. That time almost got by Bauers. Watch the double hit here. Swings, hits it, comes back on the follow through, hits it again.
Tyone's 2-2. Blowing in. And changeup a couple of times has missed for him in this at bat. 4th full count Tyone's faced. 71 pitches now. But on track for where Craig Counsell wanted him in this game. Trying to get him at least through 5. Up the middle from Bauers, a base hit. Frelick around third, he will score. Throw to third, not in time. as Durbin slides in safely, going first to third on the RBI single from Bowers. And the Brewers have cut it down to 2. Greg Counsell wants the Cubs to take a quick look, and they will not challenge.
Again, just stringing these hits together, working the at-bat. Did Bowers. Finally gets a fastball up in the strike zone and delivers with the 3rd straight base hit. And look at Frelick, who can fly. He's going to score easily. And also pressing is Caleb Durbin, who plays with his hair on fire as well. Trailing by a couple of runs, still being aggressive on the base paths.
Ron, you pointed out a great stat earlier in this series. The Milwaukee Brewers, when they get a runner on base, that runner scores 33% of the time. That is the highest percentage in baseball this year.
Yeah, they don't mess around. They are so proficient at stringing hits and runs together. And Taillon's in trouble here. Lockridge has so much speed that you're not assured of a double play even with the ball on the ground.
And now the Cubs getting their bullpen going. Drew Pomeranz warming. Taillon has fallen behind. The last 3 hitters, all 3 wound up singling. Lockridge lays down a bunt. It's a squeeze play. Toss home. They have Durbin in a rundown. Kelly to Shaw, who runs down the line, makes a shovel play to Bush, and he will finally get the tumbling Durbin for the out.
Well, this is a safety squeeze by Lockridge. And what does that mean? He is bunting, and if it's a good enough bunt, then the runner on third should come home. But he bunted it too hard, so Durbin should have probably stayed at third base. But they end up with the same situation, because in a great rundown by Durbin, both runners advanced to second and third anyway. Great job by Caleb, staying in that rundown as long as he did. Shaw had a little trouble getting that out of his glove. He probably could have tried to race for home.
I was thinking for a moment that Durbin was just going to win the foot race. So now it's second and third, 2 out. And Joey Ortiz, the batter. And a breaking ball is taken for strike 1.
Pete Armstrong had the 2-out hit of this game. Can Joey Ortiz counter that?
Ortiz, chopper to third. Shaw charges, fields, and throws in time. The Brewers get 1. And it's now 4-2.
This is one of the most difficult rundowns I've seen in quite some time. Durbin has some quick feet. Shaw thought he's going to catch him and then fumbled almost with the throw, and it ended up Michael Bush, who came in, ended up getting the tag. But that's about as good a maneuvering in a rundown that I've seen in quite some time.
It's obviously impossible to second-guess Durbin in that situation, but I'm curious, if he tried to dive home, would he have been safe?
He would have, because Shaw was fumbling the ball to get rid of it.
Speaking of Shaw, he shows bunt. Draws Durbin in from third. I'm seeing small ball on full display.
Yeah.
Your team, your players, your postseason. Follow all the postseason action with the MLB app, the #1 app for live baseball. Cubs lead 4-2. All 4 runs for Chicago came in the first inning. That's where most of the offenses come from in this series for both teams. 0-2 pitch, grounded up the middle. Backhanded stop by Turang, and he makes a smooth throw on the run. Might be the best second baseman in baseball.
He's the best defensive second baseman in the game. He makes every play to his left and his right. This is a difficult play that he makes look easy. Throwing across his body and a perfect strike to Bowers at first. It's this year, though, the maturation of his offensive game. 10 home runs in the month of August.
Michael Busch with a fly ball, forcing Churio back into the corner, and he makes the catch. Not a lot of room to spare over there, but Busch is retired. Busch struggles left on left, and Quintana has retired him twice. That'll bring up Horner. Since Quintana's come in the game, faced 10 batters, just 2 base runners, a walk and a hit. Double from Suzuki being the only base hit. Nico Horner singled and scored in the first. Such a great contact hitter. And he leads the Cubs in batting average this postseason. Finished second in the National League during the regular season to Trey Turner. Holds his swing and is ahead in the count. Quintana doesn't get the call there on a borderline pitch, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, the borderline is going to go to the hitter with the home plate umpire, Will Little, who's more hitter friendly.
Horner grounds one up the middle. Terang again makes it look easy. And we're through 4 here at the friendly confines. Tonight here at Wrigley Field, and the 2025 MLB postseason is brought to you by Ace, the helpful place, by DQ, happy tastes good, and by All States. You're in good hands. Fall perfection. And a new pitcher for the Cubs, Drew Pomeranz, 36 years of age, comes out of the bullpen after they get 4 innings from Jameson Taillon. Yelich swinging at the first pitch, and he pops it foul.
Well, so far for Counsell, if you're not over 30, he doesn't trust you in this game so far early anyway. 33-year-old Taillon with a nice effort, and now Pomeranz in the game. Taillon in 2 elimination games, 8 innings, 2 runs allowed. That's pretty good.
The Cubs starting pitching has just not been there otherwise through this series, and in the postseason. Getting length has been a big challenge out of them. Just 12 2/3 from their starters in the 5 playoff games before tonight. Pomeranz, the lefty facing the lefty Christian Yelich, is ahead in the count.
Pomeranz had one of his best years in the majors. Came over from Seattle early in the season.
He's aged like a fine wine in a lot of ways. ERA has seemingly gotten better over the last couple of years. Sub 2 ERA last year at San Diego. 2.17 ERA this season with Chicago, and now his 4th appearance of the playoffs. Yelich to short. Swanson is there for the first out of the 5th inning.
Vanda Pharmaceuticals. Innovate in the service of people's pursuit of happiness.
Alex Faust, Ron Darling, Lauren Jabara here with you. Game 3, the National League Division Series here at Wrigley Field. Brewers looking for a clinch and a sweep. The Cubs looking to stay alive and play another day. Game 4 would be here tomorrow if necessary.
Cubs have gotten 13 outs in this game. 8 of them have come on the ground.
Centurio 0 for 2 today.
Veteran pitchers have kept Churio pretty much off balance, though, so far in this game.
Churio off balance in that at bat. Goes chasing and a fastball up and out of the zone.
Well, when he hit that 3-run home run, it was an 0-2 pitch right down the middle, despite being 101 miles an hour. They haven't thrown him a lot of strikes today. He's been chasing.
Bryce Terang now. Couple of tremendous plays in the field. Couple of putouts. And the bottom of the fourth.
Boy, this crowd is electric today. They are spot on their feet again. I feel like if you're from Chicago, this is your kind of weather.
Oh, yes.
A little cooler.
This is what Wrigley's known for. That wind off the water, off Lake Michigan.
Right into the booth.
Right. We saw the sun play a factor earlier. Terang strikes out. Back-to-back Ks for Pomeranz in a 4-2 game. All right, Lefko. Love you, man. First pitch swinging here for Kyle Tucker is fouled off, and that's now 12 for 12 first pitch strikes for Jose Quintana. We've already seen one team stave off elimination today, the Detroit Tigers, forcing a game 5. Phillies trying to survive tonight in Los Angeles. The Cubs trying to survive here in Chicago, and the Yankees trying to do the same in the Bronx.
Late comeback by the Tigers.
Here, most of the scoring in the first inning, as has been the theme all series long. 4 for the Cubs, 1 for the Brewers in the first. Tucker rolls one up the middle. It's a base hit to lead off the home half of the 5th.
Well, I think Quintana was in there to face the left-handed Tucker, but he gets a base hit. And I think Pat Murphy now will go to the bullpen.
During the break, they had Grant Anderson tossing, and it appears that the Brewers will go that way. Jose Quintana certainly providing some support in a cleanup type role, but he will depart, and the Brewers make a pitching change. In the baseball season, where you will have 4 games on the same day, Blue Jays and Yankees on FS1, and then tonight on TBS, the Phillies and the Dodgers play game 3. Thursday, if necessary, game 4s in the National League. Phillies, Dodgers, 6 Eastern. Brewers, Cubs, 9 Eastern. But keep in mind the start times might shift if there is only 1 game tomorrow. The Cubs hoping there is at least one game, and they will be involved in it. Pitching change for Milwaukee. Grant Anderson out of the bullpen for the Brewers.
Yeah, acquired from Texas in January of this year. Anderson in 66 games. You see his numbers over the 2025 season.
Brewers bullpen, Ronnie, has been excellent in this series. As this pitch is inside to Seiya Suzuki.
Probably Pat Murphy thinking the conventional way of throwing the ball over the top hasn't worked against Suzuki, so he brings in his side armor.
Two and 0. Milwaukee bullpen that was asked to do a lot in game 2. And again, a lot is asked of them here today. The sidewinding Anderson catches the corner with a strike.
And because of that, that's why you're seeing these new relief pitchers in today that have not appeared. Quintana and now Anderson. Gets the call.
The outside corner that time.
Nowhere close with the 2 breaking balls by Anderson in this at bat. So what's that tell Suzuki? He's definitely going to be seeing a fastball on this 3-2 count.
And Suzuki unable to catch up to it. Foul tips it into the mitts. At 95 from Anderson.
Well, this unconventional, unorthodox style of pitching sometimes wreaks havoc with some right-handed hitters. They've had trouble with Anderson all season long. Advantage lefties, though.
Ian Happ batting from the left side. And he takes low and in.
With this kind of delivery, if Kyle Tucker was 100%, he's a 30-30 guy. He'd be stealing the base.
Well, that's still an open question. A late season injury. Also fouled the ball off his knee in game 2. Big lead. And he might get caught. He is. Tucker was leaning that way. Flinched on a first move.
Just a heck of a job by Anderson, the pitcher. Holds it and then step off. That's what you have to do as a pitcher. You'll hear it from your infield. Step off, step off. He did, and then fired a strike over there, Bauer. Easy pickings on that one. There's not much conventional stealing. The runners really need, or feel like they need, that extra jump to steal the bases. And they're very vulnerable to a pitcher who's paying attention.
Popped up mile high by Happ. See if this reaches the seats. Bauer's in front of the screen reaching out and is unable to reel it in. Remember, the Cubs, one of the top base stealing teams in the National League. They are now 0 for 3 in the postseason.
You have to remember, when the ball is hit so high here, the stadium doesn't have the third deck, so sometimes it'll blow back into play. But this one hits the netting, and on the carom, Lance Barksdale makes the play.
Pretty good hands. We had a feeling the Cubs would be more aggressive on the base paths in this game, just considering how few base runners and how few guys in scoring position they had through the first 2. But the base is now empty now with 2 outs.
And the wind blowing in, like you've mentioned many times, maybe takes that home run out of play. Didn't with Michael Busch, but you really got to catch one today to hit it out.
Live look at how it's impacting projected home run distance. Strike 3 called. What a beautiful pitch from Anderson as he ends the 5th. The 2025 MLB postseason is brought to you by Frigidaire, introducing the new line of ovens featuring stone-baked pizza mode only from Frigidaire. And by Indeed, the future of job searching has arrived. Try Indeed Career Scout today. Cubs go to one of their high leverage guys here in the 6th, face the middle 3rd of the Brewers order. Danny Palencia out of the bullpen as he misses with a breaking ball to William Contreras.
Well, now Counsell is going to the young, fresh arms that throw 100. Palencia, who closed for a lot of the summer, here asked to get through the meat of the lineup. He pitched in game 2, had to come in the 3rd inning, got out of that inning, but then gave up the 3-run home run to Churio.
Falling behind William Contreras, who had the go-ahead solo homer in the 3rd inning of Shota Imanaga. It was part of the reason why Shota had such a short outing. And it's 3 balls and a strike.
Craig Counsell calls his bullpen the outgetters. Calls them that because he doesn't want to put any label that someone only pitches in this inning or that inning. When you're called upon, get some outs.
Contreras, a high chop. Swanson charges, fields, and throws to get Contreras for the first out of the 6th.
With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn all of your purchases into extraordinary trips. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Sal Frelick now the batter. And the later this game goes, Ronnie, do you feel like the Cubs need more insurance the way this Brewers team has that woodpecker mentality you hear so often about?
Yeah, it really does. But they haven't had a lot of chances because the bullpen for the Brewers has been outstanding in this postseason. They've now thrown 15 innings. Great job by the veteran Jose Quintana. They've given up 1 run on 5 hits allowed with 18 strikeouts.
In game 2, they called upon the young Jacob Mizorowski to hurl a bunch of 100-plus pitches. They get 3 innings, credited with the win. Who will they go to here tonight?
Mizorowski threw 57 pitches in his 3 innings of work. 31 of them were over 100.
Wow. And one thing to keep in mind, the Brewers have not scored in the 5th inning or later this series. Of course, they've had a bunch of early leads. Frelick jumps out of the way. 100-mile-an-hour fastball from Palencia. And Priester, just 2/3 of an inning in his homecoming here to Chicago. After such a great regular season, but it went sideways quickly as Frelick bounces one to the left side. Shaw backpedals and throws just in the nick of time. They get Frelick by a half step.
Boy, they got some great infield defense as well here for the Cubbies. Had to back up because he would have got an in-between hop and the sidearm throw with these hustling Brewers. They never take a moment off hustling down those lines.
Cubs pitching is now retired. The last 6, actually the last 7. Durbin takes strike 1. Team has been careful with Daniel Palencia since returning from a shoulder strain in September, but it's full go now. And he gets Durbin to chase.
Harder to keep a pitcher in the zone when he's throwing 100 miles an hour. You got to get it started early at some point.
Valencia's 1-2. Blowing away.
Every once in a while you see these relief pitchers along with the starting pitchers using that pitch clock to their advantage, holding it, keeping the batter in there for an extra second or two.
Into right. Suzuki, right place. Barely has to move. A 1-2-3-6 for Palencia. Beautiful night in Chicago. The 2025 National League Division Series is presented by Booking.com. Cubs lead 4-2 as we take a look at the latest betting odds from DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and place your bets live today. Sign up with the promo code HEATS. The question on the board there, will the Cubs score in the 6th inning? Will they get some insurance against Grant Anderson and the Brewers? Looking to stay alive in this division series. Only 7 teams have come back from an 0-2 deficit in the division series since it was created in 1995. The Cubs have already survived one elimination game this postseason, taking care of the Padres here at Wrigley just 1 week ago.
Anderson's only found the strike zone with one of those breaking balls. That was the strikeout to Ian Happ at the end of the 5th inning. It's one of the rare sidearm throwers. You always think of them as pitching in the bottom of the zone, getting some ground balls. But Anderson now has swing and miss stuff at the top of the zone as well.
Looks like a frisbee out of his hand.
Yes, it does.
Popped up in the infield by Kelly. Terang makes the catch.
Well, Anderson last inning had an unusual inning. He had to come on with a base runner at first, strikes out his first batter, but then, most important play, picks off Tucker at first base and finishes it with a backdoor breaking ball. Ryan, this is his first game in the postseason. See the emotion.
There's Pete Crow Armstrong. And he draws in the corner infielders by showing bunt. Two-run single in the first. Gave the Cubs lead at the time. 4-2 now the score. This is pop foul. He was asked after game 2 in the wild card whether he felt any pressure going into game 3. And obviously he wears his emotions on his sleeve. He was 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts to start that series. And when asked about feeling pressure, he replied with one word: no. And he backed it up in game 3 against the Padres. There's a fly ball to right. It's shallow. Frelick will charge in and make the catch.
Well, Craig Counsell one of the great players to play under pressure. Got a hanging breaking ball there, and he's mad because he should have pulverized it, but he missed it. Counsell had so many great moments under unbelievable pressure. He said, when I played and what the players should do, lean into it, enjoy it, embrace it.
And people have asked all year about whether PCA shows too much of that emotion, and Craig Counsell said, you know, so long as it doesn't bleed into his play on the field, it's a way to release tension.
Yeah. I used to use backing up the bases with the time to say a few choice words to try to get it out so that when you went back to the mound, you were ready to go.
Heard from Lauren about how much Justin Turner's meant to him. Into left field by Swanson. And that's a 2-out single.
This ball jammed him kind of inside, able to just loop it over the head of Durbin, who's playing about as deep as you can play. Good job, though, just pulling those hands in and able to deliver that ball to left field.
Chris Hook out for a quick word. With 2 outs here in the 6th. And a base runner for Chicago.
This would be more a discussion to give him a little blow here, but also talk about. See Ashby up again.
Wow.
He might pitch in every single one of these games, but really to talk to him about defensing Swanson at first base, who might be running, trying to get in scoring position, and a little scouting report on Shaw. He already knows it, but just to reinforce it.
Matt Shaw, who still does not have a hit in the postseason in his young career. It's 0 for 2 tonight. And he holds his swing on a sinker that catches the corner. Squares around. Both teams seem to be deploying that a lot tonight.
I mean, that's on his own. As a manager, you wouldn't want to see your player turn around a bunt with 2 outs. Hit a double, drive in a run.
It's keeping the infield on their toes, that's for sure.
Brought Durbin in at third.
Shaw had a pitch to hit, he thought. Matt Shaw, former first-round pick of the Cubs. Crow Armstrong, a former first-round pick himself, but by the Mets, came over in a trade. Ball off the corner.
You know, when you're a young player, you end up saying to yourself, relax, relax. You know, don't let it affect you. Just relax, take the at-bats you would in the regular season. You know, in the regular season, how many times you say that to yourself? 0. So it changes it already in the post, right?
And Shaw did have a pretty solid regular season as a rookie. Count runs full on him after he checks his swing. Swanson will get a head start at first.
Bowers is trying to play right behind him to keep him as close as he can. But then he's going to try to maximize and back away to play as much defense as he can.
Popped up. Back of home plate. Contreras has room. Inning over. We head to the 7th. A look at TBS Total Motion presented by Progressive. The emotions of an elimination game. Every little play that matters. And the Cubs have had the better of the Brewers so far. We head to the 7th golden hour here in Chicago on a perfect night for postseason baseball. Andrew Kittredge out of the bullpen for the Cubs. At first pitch, it's Jake Bauers lifting this ball to left field. Happ goes back. That ball is gone! Jake Bauers with an opposite field shot. And the Brewers are within one.
You know, you were talking about the swirling wind that can happen here. That ball was aided and blown out of here by the wind. Bauers got a good piece of it, but it stayed in the air a lot longer than it looked off the bat. And here come the Brewers.
And here comes their bench with a pinch hitter to follow this solo home run to make it a one-run game.
Kittredge acquired at the trading deadline from Baltimore, where he had a strong season, even stronger in a Cubs uniform. He has now pitched 3 times in the wild card, the 8th inning, 9th inning, and he was an opener, pitched the 1st inning, and now pitches the 7th here and gives up a home run right away.
Another wrinkle in the plot in a must-win for Chicago. Isaac Collins is the pinch hitter. Switch hitting rookie, bats from the left side. Was one of the best Brewers at getting on base during the regular season. Two out of the strike zone from Kittredge.
The only problem for both teams is that the more relievers you use, you're asking them in this kind of heat and pressure to all be great. Very rarely does that happen.
There's a strike. It takes everybody, doesn't it? Full count.
Kittredge is a hard sinker slider guy. Before he comes set, very closed stance and kind of leans backwards before he delivers the ball.
And he strikes out Collins.
Takes a lot of guts there to get to that 3-2 count and throw that breaking pitch. But a beautiful one from Kittredge.
Brewers will pinch hit for Joey Ortiz. Blake Perkins will come off the bench. Another switch hitter.
Trying to get the speed on the bases to maybe steal a run if Perkins can get on. Tremendous speed. Stronger from the right side, the switch hitting Perkins.
Well, after all the early drama in games 1 and 2, game 3 appears to be coming down to the wire, with a Cubs season on the line. Caught a piece of Carson Kelly.
Courtesy here by Will Little, the home plate umpire. He'll deliver the ball to Kittredge. Take a moment or two to give Kelly a chance to recover. Only the catcher and the umpires know about that kind of contact. They feel for each other.
Will Little giving Carson Kelly all the time he needs. Perkins, whose splits are not great from this side. Where he came through for the Brewers in their Game 1 explosion was a lengthy at bat to extend that first inning. For an RBI single.
He had 2 hits in that Game 1. That 11 pitch at bat and an 8 pitch at bat later in the game.
Two. Perkins to right, but he's just in front of it. Boy, he turned on that one, didn't he?
You and I both didn't expect that. Tried to surprise him with a high fastball. Watch the bench react. They knew it was foul.
Perkins rolls over on one. Horner makes the putout. Lineup will turn over. Here's Yelich.
Now Bowers led off this inning with that home run to left field. Yelich has tremendous power to left field as well. Left field and left center. Only 368 in the gaps here at Wrigley.
We talked about the exploits of Churiel, but Yelich is having a tremendous series as well. He has 5 hits now. Yelich has reached in 6 out of 12 plate appearances this series, including his double in the first. Fouls this back. 1-2. Yelich right back to the mound. Kittredge makes the play, and the inning is over. But an opposite field homer for Jake Bowers has pulled the Brewers back within 1.
It's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball. All right.
Nicely done by the Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins.
594 starts. Over 4,500 innings, 49 shutouts. I could go on and on. We'll never hear those numbers anymore.
Jared Koenig into the game for the Brewers, and now he has appeared in all 3 games for Milwaukee in this series.
Yeah, he's been impressive. Gave up a home run to Nico Horner in his first appearance. Monasterio's in at shortstop. They batted for Ortiz and Perkins in center field.
There's Perkins, who stays in the game. Koenig, a workhorse for Milwaukee during the regular season, a career high 72 appearances. And it sets up for Milwaukee to once again use their top late inning arms here. With Uribe, who shut the door in game 2. McGill available. Take a look at the numbers during the regular season for Koenig. It was outstanding in many ways because he had to be. Milwaukee banged up over the second half in their bullpen. This is driven towards the gap by Bush, but it'll be caught by Churiel. 1 gone here in the 7th. Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, go to playball.org and follow @playball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. It's one of those classic scenes here at Wrigley Field in Chicago in October. And they get a hit here with one out from Nico Hoerner. Rounding first, staying put. One out single, and Hoerner's second hit of the night.
I said before that Hoerner had hit a home run off Koenig in game one of the 3 solo shots by the Cubbies. Here, this is more the Hoerner I remember when he pours out those 175 plus hits.
Kyle Tucker singled his last time as he bats here with a runner on and one out, and Tucker puts this into right. Back-to-back hits for Chicago as they look for some insurance.
Nice to see a couple of hits now by Tucker. You see Nico Hoerner, he had to freeze there, line drive up the middle.
And Pat Murphy is out of the dugout for the Brewers with the power threat of Seiya Suzuki coming to the plate.
Remember, when these relievers are in this often, they start to face these hitters over and over again. Advantage hitter.
Couple of hits for Chicago. They're set up with 2 on and 1 out.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Back here in Chicago as we take you inside the booth presented by AT&T. Alex Faust, Ron Darling here with you. The late inning tension of playoff baseball and Milwaukee making another pitching change.
Yeah, we're looked like we're right in the point where the Cubs hold on, because the bullpen for the Brewers has been so good. We talked so much about Mizorowski, Jacob Mizorowski in game 2, his first appearance in the postseason, his 3 innings of work. We never did talk about Chad Patrick. That was his first appearance too, with a couple of strikeouts in game 2.
Patrick, a former 4th-round pick of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Traded a couple times in the minor leagues. Big spot for him. 2 on, 1 out. Seiya Suzuki at the plate. And he takes a fastball upstairs, a 97-mile-an-hour heater. We've talked about it all series about the Cubs and their struggles with runners in scoring position. Tonight they are 1 for 7. For the series, they are 2 for 11. And Suzuki pops this foul.
One thing about Chad Patrick, he'll come right after you. I said before, he pitched in game 2. He has a triptych of fastballs he throws in there. 4-seamer, sinker, and a cutter. Throws those about 80% of the time.
Cut fastball there, got Suzuki to chase. Wind's been blowing in pretty much all night. Suzuki with a pair of homers and 4 runs batted in this postseason. Looking to add to the Cubs' lead.
Boy, Patrick was throwing hard, harder than he was in Milwaukee. Adrenaline pumping in this 1-run game.
Cubs have not scored since the first. They left 2 on in the 3rd. Kyle Tucker was picked off in the 5th. Left another man on in the 6th. Another 2-2. And Suzuki with a bouncing ball. Left side. There's one. Not the second. Andrew Monasterio just into the game. Had to wait for that hop. They got the out at second. Nico Horner gets the third.
Well, good hustle by Suzuki. I thought he beat it pretty cleanly at first base. The problem there, when you are a defensive replacement late in the game, it's hard. You know, you haven't seen a ground ball all game. He waited for that. The only way to turn two, he had to come and get it.
So now Ian Happ batting from the left side. Runners at the corners, 2 out.
Cubs already have one big 2-out hit in this game. They need one more.
That came from Pete Crow Armstrong back in the first. It drove in 2.
Well, these young pitchers for the Brewers certainly aren't pitching like they're young. Pouring strikes in there.
Their manager Pat Murphy said that in some ways it could be an advantage. He calls them cliffhangers, guys that don't know if their locker's going to be there when they get done for the day, whether they get sent down to AAA the next day or not. As Happ flies another one foul. That hunger sometimes, Ronnie, as you know, with younger teams, they don't know what they don't know.
That's right. And Patrick, who started a lot of games in 2025, coming here, and there's been a real uptick in his stuff out of the bullpen. Increased velocity.
Happ struck out his last time. And he lays off that fastball. One, 2. Didn't get the call.
That was a good pitch. Backdoor cutter right there. If he drew it up, that's a perfect pitch for Patrick. Didn't turn out to be a strike.
Happ strikes out. Adrenaline pumping for the young Patrick. MLB postseason is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. And brought to you in part by Verizon. It's turned into a gorgeous night in Chicago. Perfect for October baseball.
Tense one, though.
Oh, no doubt. Nervous energy galore in front of a packed house here at Wrigley. First pitch swinging Jackson Chourio. Pete Crow Armstrong dives, can't come up with it. And it'll be a leadoff double for Jackson Chourio. The Brewers have the tying run in scoring position here in the 8th.
Well, I was surprised that they left Kittredge out there. Only 2 times during the regular season did he pitch over an inning. Pete Crow Armstrong was made so many highlight plays all season long. Almost comes up with this one. Just tips off the end of his glove.
That'll be it for Andrew Kittredge. As the Cubs make a pitching change, the Brewers knocking on the door, looking to tie this game.
Only the ball that's popped up that wreaks havoc with the outfielders, but also the one hit on the line. Pico Armstrong looked like he had this one, but it was knocked down and knocked to his right. It started to move towards left field. That's why he wasn't able to make that play. In between innings, he was talking to his outfield mates, complaining that that one was taken out of his grasp.
Instead, it's a double for Jackson Chourio. Jumping on the first pitch from Andrew Kittredge. And now Bryce Terang will face the lefty, Caleb Thielbar.
With Thielbar's numbers of 67 games, be aware of the bunt here.
Corners play in. Thielbar will chase Chourio back to the bag. It's the first appearance in this series for Thielbar.
Thielbar had no intention of picking off the runner at second. He wanted to see if Terang would tip his hand.
And Terang waves at the first pitch. A sweeper darting out of the zone. Terang does have decent reverse splits this year.
After that swing, though, he might put the bunt on Pat Murphy.
Maybe. Can't do it anymore.
Mostly a four-seamer and a sweeper from Thielbar versus the left-handed hitter.
Didn't get the call. Where was that pitch? 95 right at the knees.
Wow. You see Kelly, glove went down. That was the opposite of kind of framing it.
Terang strikes out anyway.
Well, good breaking ball there from Thielbar. So he gets the left-hander, but because you got to face three batters, he's got to go through Contreras as well.
An uncomfortable at bat for Terang. But what will William Contreras do? He's going for the fences. He had a go-ahead homer in game 2.
Remember, Chourio barely got into second for that double because he's compromised by that bad hamstring. How hard can he run on a base hit?
Oh, no.
He's lifted early in game 1. MRIs came back inconclusive. Of course, had the big homer in game 2, 3-run shot. Contreras out in front on the curve.
Another good curveball there by Thielbar. Horner's holding Chourio close to second. He doesn't need to do that with the bad hamstring. He should close that hole to his left. And the reason I say that is that with 2 strikes, Contreras has a real natural approach to hit the ball that way. Usually you'd have to play for the threat of Chourio on the bases. You don't now.
In the dirt, ball 4. He was trying to get a chase from Contreras, but instead it's a walk.
It really felt with the right-handed hitter Contreras up there, who's awfully dangerous, that he wasn't going to give in to them. So the breaking ball, if he takes it, he walks to the open base. Puts the go-ahead run on, though.
Sal Frelick here. Frelick, roller up the middle. Horner to his right, makes the flip for one. The throw to first, not in time. Frelick can fly, and he beats it out at first.
I mean, there aren't many double play combos that can even make this close. Good job by Horner to get it to Swanson, the strong arm, but too much speed by Frelick. It's those little things that the Brewers do that other teams don't. That ends up being a double play for a lot of teams. It's not here. Gives them one more chance with Durbin's at bat.
And of course, the Brewers have been so good in this series with 2 outs.
That'll be it for Thielbar. He was going to face those 2 lefties sandwiched with Contreras in the middle. Now I believe it'll be Keller coming in.
Indeed it will. Brad Keller, who hasn't appeared since a wild outing, nearly derailed the Cubs season. He'll come in now. Well, here's a big moment for the Brewers. Looking to clinch this series, sweep the Cubs. Brad Keller is into the game for Chicago. Reliable most of the season. But last week, a heart attack outing in Game 3 in the 9th against the Padres. He wound up being bailed out by Andrew Kittredge. Keller will face the local kid Caleb Durbin, who has a chance to tie this game with a runner at third base and 2 outs.
So Keller against right-handed hitters. Half the time he's going to feature his 4-seamer or sinker. He's also got 2 breaking balls that he'll throw the other half of the time, a sweeper and a slider.
Runners at the corners, 2 out, top of the 8th in a 1-run game, and it's ball 1 to Caleb Durbin. For the series, the Brewers hitting .481 with 2 outs. Tonight, however, 0 for 7. The first 2 games putting up that .481 mark. 3 homers, 11 runs scored with 2 outs.
You got to throw strikes to these Brewers hitters. They do not chase out of the zone.
Another close pitch. Does not go the Cubs' way. It's a 4-pitch walk to Durbin, and the bases are loaded.
For managers, the hardest thing to do is when you bring in a reliever and he walks the first hitter. I mean, it just almost takes away the advantage you had, and that was righty on righty, and now you have Bowers up, who hit a home run in his last at bat.
Two for 3 tonight. He's driven in 2 out of the 3 Milwaukee runs. And he calls time. The pitch thrown anyway. Will Little granting him time.
Did he grant him time, or is it a ball?
They haven't. Well, they've put 1 ball on the scoreboard now. That was ball 1. You're right, Ronnie.
Tries to call for time, no time given. Couldn't throw it in the strike zone. Now he does. Remember, Keller is going from the windup. Very unusual for a reliever with the bases loaded. If he does give up a base hit, it ensures that 2 runners will score. No chance for your outfielders because of the big jump that Frelick will be able to get.
Keller's 1-2, caught on and missed. The Brewers leave the bases loaded with the tying run 90 feet away. A reminder of the postseason schedule today. Blue Jays, Yankees on FS1. That's a tight one early. Phillies, Dodgers tonight at 9 Eastern. And then tomorrow, if necessary, Game 4 of both of these National League Division Series. The Phillies and the Dodgers with the early one if necessary. The Brewers and the Cubs back here at Wrigley. Game 4 if necessary. First pitch swinging up the middle. Caught. Bryce Terang retires Carson Kelly. Chad Patrick remains on for the Brewers on the mound.
Kelly got this off the end of the bat, so it kind of floated and stayed up there for Terang to make the play.
Now Pete Crow Armstrong.
You just feel like the Cubbies need one more. Maybe Pete Crow Armstrong can manufacture a run.
Big swing there as the fans chant PCA.
They'll be doing that for a few years here. What a player.
His 2-run single in the first provided a go-ahead run for Chicago at the time. The Cubs only scoring taking place in the first inning. Bottom of the 8th. Brewers have chipped away from down 4-1 to 4-3. Patrick's 0-2 with Crow Armstrong laying down a bunt. Patrick off the mound to field and throw in time. Impressive. A sneak bunt from PCA.
I like that play. It wasn't the bunt he wanted, but they were giving him the bunts, and even with 2 strikes, all he had to do was push it harder on that same line and he would have had it. But nice play by Patrick. Good chance taken there by Pete Crow Armstrong. Anything to get on base and try to manufacture a run.
And Patrick holding his nerve, throwing to first on target.
Yeah, he kind of took his time getting to the ball and then had to make up for it with that 97-mile-an-hour arm.
Swanson takes just below the knees. For the Brewers in the 9th, they would have 8-9-1. They used Isaac Collins as a pinch hitter. Andrew Monasterio has since replaced him. Andrew Vaughn would be available off the bench. Ground ball, foul.
So Monasterio and Perkins will be up to hit, right? Next inning. So they get to Yelich. It's dropped about 10 degrees since we got here this afternoon.
Classic Wrigley.
Yeah.
It's turning into a classic as the Cubs try to keep their season alive. Hard hit ground ball. Durbin on a short hop. And he makes the throw in time. A 1-2-3-8. We head to the 9th in a 1-run game. The National League Division Series is presented by Booking.com. Now the Brewers go to their bench. Andrew Vaughn, who had a homer early in Game 2 after the Cubs went up 3-0. Andrew Vaughn promptly answered, depositing a ball into the left field seats at American Family Field. What an acquisition he's been for Milwaukee early in the summer. Brad Keller looking for a 4-out save. He misfires on the fastball.
Vaughn has had magic in that bat ever since putting on a Brewers uniform.
And Vaughn with a fly ball to right center. Suzuki comes over to make the catch. Two outs for Brad Keller and the Cubs to survive for one more night.
The bunt could be in play here. Shaw's got to take it away.
He's playing on the grass as Perkins looks in, strike one at 97. Oh, and 2.
Michael Busch on the line. Not completely on the line, though. At first base, usually you play that line to take away the double.
Two and 2. Uncompetitive pitch from Keller.
Have to challenge Perkins, cannot walk him.
Yelich on deck. And Perkins flies one to left, drifting foul. Full count. Perkins strikes out.
Well, that's two big two-strike pitches to Bowers and Perkins. Both ended up in strikeouts for Keller.
And now Christian Yelich with the Brewers down to their final out. Yelich, a hard hit ball to second. Horner makes the play. And the Cubs survive. The Chicago Cubs stave off elimination and force a Game 4 tomorrow night.
Talked a lot about the Brewers bullpen. What a job by the bullpen tonight for the Cubbies. 5 innings, only 1 run allowed, and this beautiful play by Horner to his left. That ball was scalded, and he gets the final out. The 2-out hit in the first inning by Pete Crow Armstrong might have turned the tide of this series.
They fly the W. They play Go Cubs Go. And Brad Keller and the Cubs faithful can exhale, Keller becoming the first Cubs pitcher with a 4-out save in the postseason since 2017. And for the second time, the Cubs survive an elimination game here at home. Lauren downstairs with Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yes, I am with PCA after this massive win to stave off elimination. I know you started things early. You saw that cutter well. Take me through what was going through your mind when you were stepping into the box.
You know, it's always nice having batter-pitcher matchup history. So having seen Quinn a lot, I think the plan was just really good, you know, 1 through 9. And it's always easy hitting with guys in front of you, and the field feels a little bit bigger with that. So
I know you're always a player that just plays with emotion on your sleeve, right? How do you manage that, especially now that it's October, everything ramps up, but still play within yourself like you did?
I got the other 20-something people in here to bring me back down to earth, and I mean, with good and bad, and you know, emotions tend to take me away from the main point sometimes. So just having good people in my dugout and in my corner to bring me back down to earth.
I know you guys have been doing this all season, but what did you learn about your team today? You stave off elimination. You guys played so strong through 9 innings.
Yeah, I mean, J-Mo set the tone for sure. You know, it's big being able to bounce back after an interesting first inning. But this has been a really resilient team all year, and you know, we just know that we got more ball to play at Wrigley Field, and hopefully we end up finishing the job in Milwaukee.
Pete, congrats on the win. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
That resilience on display. The Cubs had the best record in baseball after a loss during the regular season. Cubs 4, Brewers 3. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for Game 4s between the Brewers and the Cubs, and Phillies and Dodgers if necessary. For producer Tom Heitz, director John Tackett, our TBS crew, Ron Darling, Lauren Jabara, this is Alex Faust saying goodbye. You've been watching TBS, exclusive home of the NLDS and NLCS. We'll send you to